we also share with so many of you in the United Kingdom, in all the countries where the Queen was head of state.
Prince Harry has been left reeling and completely shocked after an unexpected confession from his father, King Charles, revealing the identity of his real mother. While whispers about Harry's paternity have swirled for decades, the revelation that even his maternity may have been mistaken has sent him into a whirlwind of disbelief and heartbreak. We're uncovering a royal secret so explosive that it was almost too dangerous to reveal publicly. Prince Harry was born in September 1984, during a time when Princess Diana and Prince Charles were hailed as the ideal royal couple, admired by the public for their elegance, charm, and flawless appearances.
Oh, everybody was absolutely thrilled. As soon as the news came out, everybody was beaming from ear to ear, and people were going around shaking hands with each other
as they waved to crowds and carried out countless royal duties. Yet behind the public smiles, the reality of their relationship was far from perfect. Today, decades later, historians, insiders, and royal followers are revisiting this era, asking tough questions about Harry's birth, his parents, and a long-hidden mystery that has been quietly concealed from the public eye for years, now resurfacing with shocking implications. In early 1984, months before Harry's arrival, Princess Diana made a discreet hospital visit. There were no photos, no public statements, just a vague note from palace staff saying she wasn't feeling well. This secretive visit has fueled ongoing speculation, prompting royal watchers to wonder if something far more complex was occurring behind the scenes, hidden carefully from the public and even from other members of the royal household.
The rumour that set tongues wagging was James Hewitt, Prince Harry's real father. Well, now Hewitt going on camera and opening up to Australia's Channel 7.
For years, rumours suggested that James Hewitt, Diana's later companion, could have been Harry's father. Yet Hewitt has always firmly denied it, insisting he didn't meet Diana until after Harry was born. While Hewitt's claim may be true, it opens the door to an entirely different mystery, one that concerns not Harry's father, but his mother, Diana herself. Many old documents and records from the 1980s are now being examined under unprecedented scrutiny, uncovering clues that may have been deliberately obscured for decades. Some records surrounding Harry's birth appear to have been altered or even swapped out. A former royal assistant hinted that palace staff followed strict rules unless instructed otherwise by someone extremely influential. This revelation raises serious questions. Perhaps the real secret isn't about Harry's father, but about the mother who gave him life, a truth that could rewrite decades of royal history. For years, insiders whispered about a DNA test. Some suggest Harry secretly requested one, while others say a test was conducted away from official royal locations. In the early 2000s, a security officer reportedly delivered a sealed envelope to Clarence House, possibly containing the results. What happened next remains unclear. Did Charles open it? Did Harry ever see the results? Or was it hidden to protect both the royal family's reputation and Harry himself? If Charles is truly Harry's father, but Diana is not his biological mother, it could fundamentally rewrite the story of Harry's life and the royal family in ways no one expected. It's possible that Charles wrote a private letter years ago, not to confirm anything, but to quietly express sorrow, silent acceptance, and resignation about a truth he could never alter. It may have been his personal way of coping, moving forward without exposing the full depth of his heartbreak, while keeping a historical record of what he could not share publicly. For decades, silence ruled within palace walls, but now that quiet is giving way to suspicion and doubt, King Charles remains at the centre, a father, a ruler, and possibly the only person who fully understands the full weight of this secret. This mystery isn't just about records or DNA, it's about identity, family, and the crushing burden of a secret too heavy for anyone to bear alone. So what was hidden about Harry's real mother? A letter, tucked away for nearly 40 years in the royal archives, has finally surfaced. Written by King Charles in the 1980s with faded ink on old paper, it initially seemed ordinary, but its single line shocked the monarchy. He will never belong to her because he is not hers to begin with. Those words weren't simply about heartbreak, love, or disappointment. They hinted at something much deeper, secretive, and almost impossible to confront. Researchers date the letter to the mid-1980s, when Harry was still a young child. At that time, Charles and Diana's marriage remained formally intact. To the public, everything appeared perfect, But behind closed doors, silence and tension were deafening, echoing through the palace like a heavy shadow. Now the question remains, who was Charles referring to? Some assumed Diana, but doubts have intensified. Historians note the writing was deliberate, carefully chosen, and too precise to be about marital struggles alone. It was thoughtful, calculated, and something Charles could not voice publicly. The letter wasn't meant for Diana. It was directed at a lesser-known figure in Charles's inner circle, perhaps a spiritual advisor, mentor, or trusted confidant who grasped the full meaning of his words. Charles clearly trusted this person enough to confide in them through writing, revealing a private truth that had been carefully guarded for decades. What did that single sentence truly mean? If it wasn't about Diana, then who was the she and who was the he? Theories have exploded inside and outside palace walls, including the shocking possibility that Harry might not be Diana's biological child. While this seems improbable, the timing of the letter raises major questions. Why would Charles write such a thing in 1985 or 1986, long before any public scandal emerged? Speculation about surrogates or secret arrangements has resurfaced, stirring tension and curiosity throughout the palace and among royal watchers worldwide. For decades, nobody questioned Harry's origins, but this letter suggests there may be far more to the story. If Charles implied Diana wasn't Harry's biological mother, the royal family's history could require a complete re-examination and rewriting of what everyone thought they knew. Then there's a second letter, written much later, reportedly in the final years of Queen Elizabeth's reign. Short but profoundly sad, Charles writes to Harry, not with anger, but with sorrow, confessing he raised him in the shadows, away from the full truth, while expressing hope for Harry's future forgiveness. This one sentence has sent palace legal teams on a meticulous search for other documents from that period. Meghan and Harry are now weighing their next moves with extreme caution. They have always spoken about the importance of truth, but this time the truth could break decades of silence forever. Prince William appears calm in public, yet insiders report he is privately upset. If he knew the truth and stayed silent, Harry could feel betrayed rather than supported as a brother. The already fragile relationship between the two brothers, which has had cracks for years, could now be permanently damaged. The British royal family has faced countless challenges throughout history: wars, betrayals, political scandals, abdications, and crises that have tested their resilience time and time again. Yet, this one private and understated letter could potentially lead to the biggest upheaval in modern royal history. The image of the royals has always been meticulously curated, a symbol of elegance, power, and continuity. But if this image was built on a hidden secret, the monarchy may never be viewed the same way again, and decades of public perception could be completely rewritten. Before diving deeper into this explosive revelation, let's take a closer look at who Harry's real mother could be. Could it be someone shockingly close to the monarchy, someone quietly influential and hidden behind palace walls for decades? Keep watching, because the truth may be stranger than fiction. The secret surrounding Prince Harry's mother has captivated royal watchers for years. For decades, the public assumed that Princess Diana was Harry's mother. The official story was simple. Charles and Diana, the perfect royal couple, had 2 sons, William and Harry, and all appeared normal. However, a private letter written by Charles before his troubled marriage to Diana has raised doubts and ignited intrigue. In the letter, Charles allegedly mentioned that Harry was not Diana's son, a revelation that has never been fully clarified. This small but powerful note has sparked endless questions. If Diana is not Harry's biological mother, then who could be? To explore this further, we must examine Charles's early life and romantic history. Prior to marrying Diana, Charles had numerous significant relationships as a young man. Some were romantic, some complicated, but all had an impact on him personally and socially. Before Diana, Charles was particularly close to several women in his social circle. Noble women, family friends, and those connected to the royal family, any of whom could have played a pivotal role in his private life. One of the first names that comes to mind is Anna Wallis. Anna was confident, graceful, and courageous, qualities Charles admired deeply. She attended official events with him, spoke her mind, and seemed fearless. However, their connection ended because Anna believed Charles still harboured feelings for another woman, leaving their relationship unresolved but memorable. Camilla Parker Bowles, though central later, is often considered separately from these earlier connections. Another intriguing figure is Lady Jane Wellesley, daughter of a duke, who captured public attention as a potential match for Charles. Well-mannered and respected within the royal family, she eventually stepped back, unwilling to bear the pressures of royal duties and obligations. Their time together may have seemed uneventful, but, as with many aspects of Charles's personal life, certain details could have been deliberately concealed from the public. One of the most discussed women from Charles's past is Lady Dale Tryon. Trusted deeply by Charles, Dale possessed style, charm, and confidence. Despite being married to one of Charles's close friends, many speculated that their bond went beyond friendship. Dale herself mentioned that Charles confided in her, telling her she understood him like no one else. They spent time together in private, with Charles visiting her house secretly. Dale had a son in the late 1970s, but rumours suggest that her relationship with Charles may have continued afterward in ways the public never knew. Yet, amid all these names, one woman dominates the speculation: Camilla Parker Bowles. She was Charles's first true love, a connection that endured despite marriages, distance, and time. Even before marrying Diana, Charles and Camilla shared a strong emotional bond, and this connection reportedly never fully faded, even when both were tied to other partners. Charles seemed to trust Camilla more than anyone else for years. Observers of the British royal family have long speculated that Camilla might be Prince Harry's biological mother. These rumours, persistent despite no official confirmation, hinge on timing, their closeness, and the intensity of their bond during critical periods of Charles's life. Even as Charles's marriage to Diana struggled, reportedly from the very early years, Charles and Camilla's relationship may have quietly rekindled. When Diana was pregnant with Harry, some insiders suspected that Charles and Camilla were growing close again, though these moments were never publicly acknowledged. Some palace insiders hinted that Charles relied on Camilla for emotional support more than ever during this period. Skeptics question whether Camilla could have been pregnant and arranged for Diana to raise the child publicly, a secretive plan designed to avoid scandal and protect both families while maintaining the royal image. Those who support this theory point to Camilla's enduring closeness to Charles and her influence over royal affairs, including her existing children from a prior marriage. Any potential pregnancies could have gone unnoticed, easily explained, or carefully concealed, ensuring that no public scandal arose. Historically, unusual arrangements have been made within the royal family to safeguard titles, traditions, and reputations. Considering Camilla's intimate relationship with Charles, the instability of his marriage, and the timing of Diana's pregnancy with Harry, speculation has persisted for decades, fueled by whispers and subtle clues from insiders. Some rumours also suggest a mysterious woman completely removed from public view, a staff member or a noblewoman kept anonymous to prevent scandal. This secrecy could explain the absence of public records or images. In such a scenario, Diana may have been asked to raise Harry as her own, offering him love and care while the truth remained hidden. Diana, young, radiant, and beloved by the public, would have been an ideal mother figure. Harry's distinct appearance adds another layer of intrigue. Many note that his red hair and unique facial features stand out among royal relatives, which could be attributed to genetics, but also spark speculation regarding his biological parentage. If Charles suspected that Harry was not Diana's biological son, another mother, possibly a former lover or discreet confidant, would have quietly entered royal history, keeping her secret while allowing Diana to publicly assume motherhood. However, speculation doesn't stop there. Some have suggested that a surrogate may have been involved. For years, whispers circulated within the royal family about the possibility of a surrogate, though most dismissed it as improbable. Recent discoveries, including letters, have prompted renewed reconsideration. The language in these letters has caused observers to rethink past assumptions. What once seemed far-fetched now appears plausible, prompting historians, royal insiders, and the public to reconsider long-held beliefs. In the early 1980s, Princess Diana's multiple hospital visits, attributed at the time to stress or health concerns, now take on an entirely new significance in light of these revelations, hinting at secrets previously concealed and stories never told. However, some insiders claim that during this period there were serious discussions about Diana's fertility among doctors, palace staff, and senior royal advisors. At the same time, Princess Diana and Prince Charles were drifting further apart, their once publicly admired marriage quietly unravelling behind closed doors. Despite the tensions, the royal family still needed an heir, an urgent priority. If doubts arose about conceiving a child naturally, combined with a marriage already under strain, could the palace have considered alternative options to secure the future of the monarchy without public scrutiny? Some now speculate that a surrogate may have been involved. The palace had the authority, the motive, and most crucially, the ability to keep everything confidential. And if Harry was born through a surrogate arrangement, it is possible that Diana was asked to raise him publicly as her child, even though she may not have been his biological mother. This possibility, if true, completely reshapes the way we view decades of royal history, family dynamics, and public appearances. It could explain why Diana appeared so intensely emotional whenever she spoke about Harry in interviews or private moments. Her affection always seemed deeper, sometimes almost protective in ways that suggested she was shielding him from realities the public never knew. It could also shed light on Harry's persistent sense of not fully belonging, a feeling he has expressed throughout his life. The royal family did not merely conceal a secret. They built decades of carefully curated history around it. Where then did Diana fit into this carefully orchestrated story? Was she complicit in keeping the secret, or was she simply fulfilling a role expected of her by the palace? Her lifelong silence now appears less like a puzzle and more like a deliberate statement. Known for her boundless love and devotion to her children, could Diana have chosen to mother Harry without revealing the truth about his origins? Throughout her life, Diana subtly hinted at concerns in letters, interviews, and public conversations. In one letter, she described her ongoing worry for Harry and her desire to shield him from harm. While the media widely interpreted this as a comment on press intrusion, it is now possible she was alluding to something far more private, known only to her and Charles, a delicate matter concerning Harry's parentage and her role in his upbringing. Would she have accepted this responsibility immediately? Perhaps not, but within the rigid confines of royal expectation, she may have understood that options were limited. There was never, however, any doubt about her genuine love for Harry. One palace employee recalled witnessing Diana's care for him, noting that her affection often went beyond conventional motherly concern. It seemed almost as if she was protecting him from an unseen threat. If Diana knew the truth and took it to her grave, it suggests that the royal family may be holding more hidden secrets than anyone realized. At the heart of it all is a mother's love, powerful, unspoken, and possibly the only truth that truly matters. But how did the palace respond to this? Would they ever allow the world to know the truth, or would they continue to guard it closely? Buckingham Palace remains outwardly calm, but behind closed doors, tensions are high. Prince Harry is actively seeking answers, yet responses are scarce. The palace is silent, the doors firmly shut, staff tense and wary. The concern extends beyond a single letter. There may be additional correspondence, letters written for Diana, Prince William, or Harry himself. If more letters come to light, they could dramatically affect both the family's reputation and their legal standing. A specialized team has been quietly reassembled to manage a crisis reminiscent of the fallout after Harry and Meghan's Oprah interview. Their mission: prevent further leaks, manage media scrutiny, and locate the original letters before they can be discovered elsewhere. Legal experts are reviewing whether the letters can be withheld under the Official Secrets Act. While British media outlets have received discreet warnings, journalists and investigators outside the UK remain free to investigate, increasing the likelihood that the truth will slowly emerge. One palace staffer whispered that the primary concern is not even the content of the letters, but the loss of control over the narrative itself. This is no longer just about Harry. The implications are profound, potentially reshaping the future of the monarchy and revealing the secret that has silently defined a family for decades. King Charles has always projected calm and composure, adhering meticulously to royal protocols. Yet beneath this polished exterior lies a man bearing a deeply personal and painful burden, invisible to the public eye. A recently uncovered letter exposes a fragment of this past, a piece of Charles's life not only historical, but intensely emotional. The letter conveys a quiet grief he has carried for years, a sorrow that is heartbreaking rather than scandalous. The words are not angry or vindictive. They are a confession, a reflection of struggle and restraint. One line, in particular, strikes at the heart of the matter. He will never truly belong to her because he was never hers to begin with. This sentence carries profound significance. Observers have long speculated about the distant relationship between Charles and Harry. Despite public smiles and appearances, something has always seemed absent between them. Many assumed this was due to generational differences or the weight of royal duties keeping them apart. Yet the truth may be far more complex. Palace staff have observed that Charles often appeared hesitant around Harry. He was not cold or distant, but his warmth was measured, restrained. It seemed he wished to be closer, yet an invisible barrier prevented him from expressing full affection. Could this have been the result of an unspoken secret? Perhaps uncertainty about Harry's parentage or the intricacies of their bond forced Charles into emotional caution, a protective measure for both himself and Harry. Now that he is king, Charles's presence is more noticeable than ever, yet the weight of this secret may loom even larger than the crown itself. It likely influenced how he raised Harry, how he ruled, and how he expressed love. Meanwhile, Prince William's upbringing also comes into focus. Groomed for leadership from a young age, William understood rules, tradition, and duty intimately. But now, with these letters and revelations, questions emerge. What did William know, and for how long? Throughout their lives, William and Harry have maintained a complicated relationship. Though brothers, their personalities and approaches to royal life differ sharply. Harry has often suggested that William strictly adhered to royal rules and protocol, potentially hiding emotions or knowledge that might explain the subtle distance between them. Could William's rigid obedience have concealed deeper truths about the family's hidden secrets? Perhaps Charles told William the truth when he reached a certain age, causing him to change. Those close to the family believed that William became more reserved and serious after certain private discussions with his father. It appeared as though he was suddenly burdened with something weightier than before. If William knew the truth, why did he not tell Harry? Was it out of loyalty to their father, fear of causing family conflict, or a sense of duty to protect the monarchy? Whatever the reasons, his silence now speaks volumes. Many feel betrayed by his lack of communication, not just as a brother, but in terms of the trust they once held. Queen Elizabeth II was recognised for her quiet demeanour and profound understanding of her family's challenges. She carried the burden of countless secrets for over 70 years, providing stability and calm guidance through turbulent times. If a letter containing such sensitive information made its way through the palace, it is likely that the Queen was aware of its contents. With access to letters, documents, and medical records, she chose discretion over disclosure, protecting both the royal family and its public image. Some believe she attempted to handle the situation privately. Close associates say she always acted preemptively to maintain control, balancing the monarchy's image with personal compassion. Perhaps that is why, in her final days, she made a deliberate effort to reconcile with Harry, meeting him privately in 2022. Observers described it as heartfelt and emotional, a meeting heavy with meaning and nuance. Looking back now, that encounter seems to carry even deeper significance. Was it simply a familial farewell, or a subtle acknowledgement of truths only she fully understood? The royal family now faces a delicate situation, one layered with complex emotions, unspoken communication, and hidden realities. This is not merely about embarrassment, it reflects the profound sadness that arises when honesty is withheld. How did Harry feel about this? And could Meghan continue to stand by him as they navigate such revelations? A silent search for truth is underway. When the letter became public, it caused distress not only for the royal family, but especially for Harry and Meghan. Meghan, deeply attuned to Harry's emotions, was profoundly affected by its contents. It resonated with Harry's lifelong sense of identity and belonging, confirming suspicions he may have quietly harboured. Meghan has encouraged Harry to pursue clarity, seeking guidance from legal professionals, historians, and possibly even exploring writing a new book about identity and truth while in California. Sources indicate they have begun contacting DNA experts to understand the matter fully, not just for Harry, but for their children as well. They are creating a life centered on honesty, transparency, and self-discovery, rather than strictly following tradition. Meghan appears to be considering ways for Harry to share his journey with the public, whether through a documentary, podcast, or book, allowing him to narrate his own story rather than leaving it to others. Rather than focusing solely on leaving royal duties behind, this investigation emphasizes Harry's origins and personal truth. Throughout this process, Harry has noticed a troubling silence from one individual, raising questions about whether he was always aware that something was amiss. Harry often referred to himself as the spare, but this term may have reflected far more than just his royal standing. It could hint at an enduring sense of uncertainty about his place within the family. He frequently appeared distant or isolated. In his memoir, he revealed feelings of loneliness even when surrounded by others. Moments that should have brought comfort often felt empty. And while friends noted his frequent smiles, they also observed an underlying search for connection and understanding. Teachers recounted his deep, introspective questions about life and identity, initially interpreted as normal teenage curiosity, but now potentially indicative of a much deeper concern. When Meghan entered Harry's life, she offered more than love. She provided attention, emotional support, and a safe space to explore difficult questions. Friends recall that she encouraged him to seek answers and confront challenging truths. Now, Harry is pursuing understanding that goes beyond titles, royal status, and superficial appearances. If his sense of not fitting in stems from a deeper, possibly biological reason, the implications shift dramatically. Perhaps the sadness the public observed was not mere rebellion, but an emotion rooted in complex truths. The silence surrounding this hidden reality is now more powerful than any spoken words, posing questions that could fundamentally change everything. If Princess Diana was not Prince Harry's biological mother, the impact extends far beyond personal heartbreak. It has the potential to shake the foundations of the royal family, a monarchy built on lineage, duty, and hereditary succession. Any uncertainty could carry significant implications for titles, traditions, and the future of the crown. Harry is currently fifth in line to the throne, with his children, Archie and Lily, next in succession. But if doubts arise regarding his connection to Diana, questions may emerge about whether Harry and his children are considered genuine royals. There is even the possibility that they could lose the privileges, titles, and respect traditionally afforded to those born into the royal family. Some experts believe that King Charles may have taken steps years ago to reclaim certain titles or rights, not out of anger, but to protect the family from potential future complications. This concept reshapes our understanding of past decisions, including why Archie and Lilibet initially lacked royal titles. What some interpreted as a slight may have been a precaution, ensuring that the family's integrity would remain intact if hidden truths came to light. For Harry, this is about more than titles. It touches on love, identity, and the delicate balance between loyalty to family and the pursuit of truth. Now, with increasing public awareness, it is clear that Prince Harry's story has always been complex and may continue to remain so for the foreseeable future. What do you think about King Charles's revelation regarding Harry's real mother? Do you believe Princess Diana only had one biological child? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe before you go. Click on the video displayed on your screen to continue exploring this extraordinary story.